Gracias for joining us for another installment of the 2016 Phoenix Film Festival's International Horror and Sci-Fi Film Festival, the sub-branch of the spooktacular variety here. And we are talking with director Michael McQuown. And we just got done watching your movie, man, The Dark Tapes.
The Dark Tapes, yes. First world premiere, first screening. No one's seen it. First time I seen it in a theater myself.
Very nice. This was a labor of love for the last 3 years for you, right?
Yep. Started shooting in 2013. It's an anthology, so we shot one story in 2013 and we shot the rest in 2015. Still got a little, I'm going to meet with the sound guy, still doing a little bit of post-production, so it's still tweaking it, but it's about ready to go.
Oh, but it was still close enough to being finished that it captivated me. I know you described it as kind of like more of a Twilight Zone attempt, like to build more dread perhaps, as opposed to just full-on scares, but there was a little of both in this.
There's some scares, there's some gore, but if you're a fan of the Twilight Zone, maybe updated with a little bit of modern scares and gore, then I think you'll like this anthology film.
It almost felt to me like Paranormal Activity kind of merging with the Twilight Zone, at least with some of its sensibilities, and the concept was especially what was so frighteningly captivating for me, just this aspect, without giving away too much, of trying to pick up on spirits and entities that we can't see, and that always fascinates me when we're using all this modern technology to try to track these beings that we can't really take notice of, right?
Yep. Actually, when I was in high school, I rode out to University of Virginia, North Carolina, and Duke. They had parapsychology programs, and I was actually going to get a degree in parapsychology. So the film partially tries to give a scientific basis on how paranormal and super activity could happen, but yet still be real and fall within the realm of our scientific explanations.
Well, it seemed legit enough to me. Obviously, I'm a metal man and not a science guy, but it seemed very, very thorough and well thought out. This wasn't just somebody throwing something together. Like, you actually did some legitimate research in the plausibility of all of this.
Yeah. Each story, you're supposed to, at the end of the story, afterwards, you'll go, okay, I can see that happening in real life, despite that it might be something paranormal or supernatural or creature. Don't want to give too many, because each story has a twist and it builds up mystery and dread, like you mentioned. So I don't get too much away, but yeah, you're absolutely right on that.
Yeah, but there is a threading theme, as I mentioned, of just interaction with the things that we can't see, right?
Yep, absolutely. And there's actually another story that I excluded from this one.
Director's cut, perhaps?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to do something that really technically hasn't been done ever before, but I'll give a little hint. If you do get the director's cut with the DVD, Blu-ray, watch it all the way through the credits, and there'll be something magical will happen that no one else has done before.
Very fascinating. So something that I really enjoyed was some of the visual cues that you took with this film. There is some practical, and then there is also some really interesting camera effects of almost like distortions without giving too much away when it seems like a presence is becoming more apparently there.
Yeah. It was one of the reasons I shot this anthology was to learn more through each story, and definitely what I think filmmakers should take nowadays is do practical effects first and spice it up with visual effects.
Agreed. A nice combo of both works well.
Yep. Don't do just the visual effects only. I think everyone in the horror community agrees that visual effects are overdone. The studios should just stay away from it. But we definitely were able to improve some of our practical effects by adding on very subtle visual effects. Made a big difference.
Totally. And I especially liked the main arcing story. Very, very captivating.
Yeah, that one actually was not going to be the main arcing story, and then there were complications during the story, and during the editing process, we actually shot a different arcing story that you do technically see right at the beginning and the end. The two characters at the beginning and the end, they actually had something else happen to them. But then the To Catch a Demon, it's called, had some complications in editing, and I thought, you know what, it's going to work better as the wraparound story. And then actually how it tied into each story, that was also just thought up during the editing process.
You were kind of learning as you went from what you told me, right? Because you wrote this, you edited it, you directed it, with the exception of one segment where there was a guest director, or?
Yeah, that was the practical effects artist, Vincent Guastani. He's done lots of stuff. You look him up on the IMDb, he'd be one of the top 10 guys in Hollywood. We were lucky to get a referral to him, and then he had just started directing some horror shorts. and then wanted to direct To Catch a Demon, and so he directed The Catch a Demon, and then I did the rest of them, and so he was responsible for sculpting we can give away that there's a demon in To Catch a Demon.
Yeah, there you go. Hence the title. We at least know that much. We're not going to go full on spoilers with you guys, but yeah.
And there's Cam Girls and the one called Cam Girls.
And that's actually the stock photo that we had in the in the information. Yeah, she's a babe, I gotta say.
Yeah, that's Amelia Arizorange for fans of Bosch 3. We see her a lot in Bosch 3, but she's not in many scenes. You'll have to watch it. But she won some awards as an independent film a few years ago, and she's definitely up and coming. Yeah, we had 4,000 people submit to our casting calls in LA, and we all did probably 800 people.
Interesting. Well, she did a great job, I thought, actually. Yeah. All of the cast members, they implemented enough dread. They built the tension like they needed to, and nice, strong female presence as well, I thought.
Yeah, I think people can tell I got the idea initially after seeing VHS. Mm-hmm. And I immediately said, yes, that's how you can do found footage movies. I think most found footage movies work better as shorts.
Agreed.
You take the best 20 minutes out of it, then you got a really strong film rather than trying to stretch it out for 70 minutes. And that VHS proved that. The one thing that, again, this is my own personal opinion, I felt VHS was a little bit geared towards maybe 22-year-old males.
Huh?
Nothing wrong with that. But I'm no longer 22, so I wanted to make more stronger female characters. Now, that's not to say all the females are necessarily good in the film.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of strong female characters in there, and there's also strong male characters as well.
Yeah, there was a nice balance of both, but often in the horror genre, it's either, you have your final girl or you have your, Ash or whatever guy slicing people up. So nice balance, I must say.
Oh, thank you so much.
Yeah, indeed. So as far as anthology horror, you mentioned The Twilight Zone, obviously. Are there any other TV series or films that really inspired this process as far as anthology goes?
I would watch Tales from the Dark Side, but as far as anthologies go, what I tried to do with this film, and what I think maybe makes better anthology films, is each story could actually, I had ideas how to stretch them out into a full feature. Yeah. So what I tried to do is sort of make mini stories, mini features, as opposed to shorts. A lot of shorts tend to be extended scenes. Yeah. And I tried to make a mini feature for each one. There was actually there's subtle background stuff about the characters that you may not see in some shorts.
Little intertwinements and stuff, threading it all together.
Yep, and there was stuff that we actually had cut out for time reasons. Who knows? Maybe we'll get it on the DVD. But I'm hoping that the anthology. We have ABCs of Death. Yeah. You have VHS. You have Tale from the Dark Side's now in development. It seems like a rumor.
Yeah, Southbound just came out recently. Tales from Halloween, stuff like Black Mirror is doing well, and I almost think we're seeing a resurgence of the format in the genre, which is great.
Yeah, no, Black Mirror, I haven't gotten through the first season yet, but Black Mirror I like a lot. Yeah, we started shooting this by the time I watched it, but I'm definitely a fan of Black Mirror.
Yeah, I was going to say, being a deep lover of stuff like Tales from the Crypt and The Outer Limits and the aforementioned series as well, I really like this. It feels like to me it could have further entries and that it could be a VHS, which has already seen 2 sequels.
Yeah, the idea is hopefully we'll go to some meetings and pitch this as for a Netflix series or for a cable series. And I would like to do a mythology that would tie in even more all the tapes, kind of like how the X-Files had its own mythology. Yeah. And then whether that comes out in future films that could be released once a year, or whether this would be something that you would see in an anthology series on a basic cable or Netflix, we'll see.
I think that's cool that you're open to taking it in different approaches, I guess.
A lot more ideas I have to shoot. They would just require larger budget than what we shot with.
Exactly. Well, hey, I think you did a killer job with the budget that you mentioned to me. I mean, you really made something awesome out of just humble beginnings, I must say. So, congrats, man. It was very entertaining, and I highly recommend checking out the Dark Tapes. Where can people online keep track on any updates about the film, where else it might be screening, things of that nature?
So this was our premiere festival, and we've already been accepted into 5 other festivals that are coming out later in the spring and the summer. I'm going to guess we'll be in more festivals through the fall. And if you go to thedarktapes.com, that's plural, or you go to the Dark Tapes movie, I believe, on Facebook, or the Dark Tapes Twitter, And we also have a newsletter. You can sign up at thedarktapes.com as well.
Awesome. So lots of options, guys, depending on where you like to get your online content. And I got to extend a grande gracias for speaking with us about The Dark Tapes today. It was a film that I was very stoked to see here at the Phoenix Film Festival. So gracias and thanks again.
Oh, means a lot. I appreciate it.
Indeed. So thank you, Mr. McQuown, once again for speaking with us. I've been Jaime and Fuego, and we have more coverage from the Phoenix Film Festival 2016 coming at you guys soon. So until then, stay scared.